flag bearer of the NDC, John Dramani Mahama, says the reintroduction of the free sanitary pad initiative will be a priority if successful in staging a comeback to office. It is one of the demands made by teacher unions in a document presented to political parties for inclusion into the NDC's manifesto for the upcoming election. The policy that was intended in the previous John Mahama administration was largely criticized by opposition parties. In a meeting with teacher unions, the former president revealed intentions to mainstream STEM and TVET education into secondary schools. Mr. Mahama made these pronouncements to overhaul the educational sector of the country when he met with teacher unions.
The provision of free sanitary pads for female learners in both basic and senior high schools was initiated under the SWAL NDC administration. If you remember, our opponents now in government mocked us and called it the pad loan. For you, the unions, to have raised this as an issue in the concerns that you have presented to us means that our policy on sanitary pads was well thought through and needs to be looked at again. The NDC policy of infrastructure development will again be pursued vigorously to decongest the large class sizes. Abandoned infrastructure in the basic and senior high schools and TVET schools, including the famous E-blocks, will receive priority attention under a new NDC administration. The need to review and improve upon the free SHS TVET policy is no longer debatable. And Angel just mentioned it. We are happy we are on the same wavelength with regards to that. It is a must that we look at the implementation of free SHS again through stakeholder engagements to address the numerous challenges and strengthen its positives. It is thus not surprising that you have incorporated it into the document that you have presented us, which I call the Teachers' Manifesto. We're going to mainstream TVET and STEM into all secondary schools. We don't believe that STEM and TVET should be standalone in special secondary schools. We must mainstream them through all the secondary schools. And so in this regard, we will revamp the science resource centers in order that clusters of schools can use those centers. Luckily for us, the E-blocks have 4 laboratories in every E-block, and those laboratories are going to be used for TVET and STEM education. The imperative of the Free SHS Secretariat being supervised by the Education Directorate is our considered view. The Education Service, which is an implementing agency, has the capacity to implement the Free SHS policy. So we do not agree on a standalone Free SHS Secretariat. We think that it must be integrated into the Education Service as an implementing agency. The NDC will therefore integrate the Free SH Secretariat into the Education Service Directorate and not have them exist as separate entities. I announced to the CHAS representatives last week that we would decentralize the school feeding program and return the responsibility for feeding the students to the school.
Well, former minority leader, member of parliament for Tamale South, Reintroduce, is optimistic the National Democratic Congress will win the 2024 general election. He believes the party's proven track record, where flag bearer John Mahama, will inure to their benefit. He was speaking at a capacity building workshop for NDC party communicators at WA. Rafik Salam has more.
The former minority leader in parliament, Haruna Idrisu, averred that the National Democratic Congress, NDC, led by former President John Dramani Mahama, is on course to being returned to power based on the following reasons.
Because we stand on the side of morality, we stand strong on the side of truth, and we are proud of our legacy as a party and government in the past, with President John Dramani Mahama as fourth president of the Fourth Republic and our candidate for the 2024 presidential and parliamentary election.
Haruna Idrisu opined that the NDC is poised to capturing all 11 parliamentary seats in the Upper West region, starting from the Lambuse constituency, which is said has already fallen to the NDC, with the London constituency next on the line. The NDC currently holds 8 out of the 11 parliamentary seats in the Upper West region.
We are determined to capture all the 11 seats in the Upper West region. At least from my briefing and from information available to me, Lambosi is already in the basket. We can add that on, and we are narrowing on to strategy to get Nandom in, and we are determined to win all 11 seats. And then also in the Sisala area, myself have been playing some quiet diplomatic role, reconciling the previous Sisala candidate with the NDC candidate, and they are working together now, as you can see on the ground. And we are quite satisfied with the performance of the NDC in the Upper West region. At least we didn't borrow as recklessly as they have. 600 billion against 120 billion, a debt to GDP which is unprecedented. So Nana Addo Dankwa and Dr. Bawumia have only moved Ghana from Ghana beyond aid to Ghana beyond borrowing. You know that they can't borrow again themselves, and they are making it impossible for the country to rely on external borrowing to finance budget and to deal with deficit. And we are aware that President John Dramani Mahama will inherit a problematic economy to manage, and effort will be to stabilize the economy and back on major constitutional and administrative reforms that strengthen institutions of Ghana, and more importantly, determine what the future of the country would be. The Upper West region, as you all know, is my second home. We are always proud of their sacrifices and contribution to the NDC, and at least it's on the walls that you can see that the NDC will do better and super in the 2024 elections.
The Tamale South legislature then goes after the juggler of Vice President and flag bearer of the new Patriotic Party, Dr. Bawumia, stating that he will suffer to remove the attack of being a habitual lying politician and also the linking himself from the failures of the MPP government.
As for Dr. Bawumia, he will suffer from a credibility problem as a habitual lying politician. You just make promises. You don't do that. You must have honor when you make promises, and you can't honor them. You apologize to the Ghanaian people, or you hold strong in saying that I take responsibility. He cannot be claiming now to be dissociating himself from the Nana Addo Dankwa government and their performance or achievement. If he doesn't want to share their failings, he shouldn't share their success. God bless.
Also present was the National Communications Officer of the NDC, Sami Jemfi, who donated 11 motorbikes to the party on behalf of the 2024 flag bearer of the NDC, John Dramani Mahama, for onward distribution to the 11 communications bureau in the region. Sami Jemfi chastised the MPP for failing to deliver on promises made to Ghanaians.
The ruling MPP government has flattered to deceive on all their major promises. They have betrayed the trust of Ghanaians, and they have violated their social contract with the people of Ghana. And this is the reason why Ghanaians are all suffering, irrespective of one political affiliation. And so all Ghanaians are united in grief, calling for change in the direction of this country. And who better to give us that change than a man who has been tried and tested, the visionary nation builder, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, who has a proven track record and the vision that can bring about the transformation and the prosperity we are all yearning for.
Reporting for Joy News, Rafik Salam. Wow.